Hello, everybody. I am Sun Psychic Jean. Please welcome my very special guest, Valerie from Illumination Portal. Hi, Val.
Hi, Jean. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Well,
I am so excited to hear all about the astrological changes that are going on at this time. There is a new moon and many different changes that are going on
mhm.
um, in our what would you call it? Our solar system or the galaxy? What the terminology is really what I have a lot of trouble with. What would we call that?
Well, we're a solar system inside the Milky Way galaxy because
Oh,
we have 9 planets. Well, they want to say 8 planets that revolve around the sun, right? But there's how many suns in our galaxy? It just goes on and on and on. And we have all these different points that show outside of the galaxy. I'm bringing that up because today we have Jupiter squaring, oh geez, Pluto at 0 degrees. Okay, but that is showing us Saturn, no, Sat, excuse me, the great,
oh, it changes every day, you guys. It changes every day,
it is
and
so much
you
energy.
have to keep up with the changes. So,
Yeah,
Val, you take your time and look at your notes, and that's what's most important. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Wiki. Hi, Fern. Hey, Akila. Hey, Akila. Nice to see you. Are you coming to see us?
I'm just going to pull this real quick up because this is important too. Well, it all is. And yes, everything does change and it's constant. This is what's fascinating about the astrology, especially the last few years. It is, it doesn't usually, well, in our lifetimes, it hasn't just been one thing after another after another. Okay, and I'm just going to bring up COVID because it had a certain astrological alignment, and in December, and a couple months later, there we were in a whole different scenario. So, but these are changing so fast. Things are changing so fast. And I attribute it to our ascension, how we are leveling up energetically with all the assistance of all the planets. And of course, spirit runs everything. So it's spirit driven. Um, this on the 19th, we had a new moon in Taurus, and that was at the very end of the Taurus season. So the sun changed to Gemini today. But that was a powerful degree. I don't really like to go into the degrees because it can get so overwhelming and confusing. But it's the end of that Taurus season. It goes from 0 to 29 degrees. 0 and 29 are the critical degrees. So today, for instance, we're in a 0 degree Gemini sun. So this is where our minds will start coming up with new ideas, new plans, new ways to do things. Or you and I were just talking right before here about how to do some things with YouTube and on StreamYard, right? So all these new and look how fast technology is growing and just everything. Well, now our minds, when we're in Gemini season, will catch up. It'll catch up. It'll make sense out of things. Um, the the new moon though was like I kept saying the door's cracking open to the Aquarius age. Well, now it's cracked open a little more because that's the first new moon after the eclipse season, where we had the Aries and Scorpio eclipses. Now they were there. They're kind of like guiding us, right? What's got to be released? What no longer serves you? What is holding you up on your path? And it gives us those indicators of where those red flags are or those things that we know we need to let go of to finally let it go. Now, that doesn't happen just because it's an eclipse, but it sets up the energy. So we always have the energy setting up from spirit to guide us to where we're going on our journey, on our path. So here we are. We just did that Taurus new moon with 8 other planetary bodies right there, all in Taurus. Jupiter just moved to Taurus. Very beneficial for the whole year. Like you'll be able to create anything on this plane of existence, anything that uses our 5 senses. Taurus is all about the things that I prefer a blue pen, or I like a pink pen, whatever. Those are our preferences. And those preferences um, are there to keep us looking at our path, to go that way. Don't go with the things you know are no longer working for you. And we just have all this support right now. So that happened. Today we're in Gemini. We are, oh, what was I looking up? I'm sorry. Let me tell you this real quick. This is going to be a long lasting Sun trine Pluto. Okay. No, that's not it either. I apologize. And I'm sorry if do you hear the background noise? You do? I'll fix it. Let me put some headphones on.
No, that's okay. Is it just outside? Are there kids playing outside or something?
They're doing a campaign downstairs, but they're usually not that
That's all right. Let it go. Let
rowdy.
it go for
Okay.
now. Let it go for now. If it gets real bad, we'll do it. But I was wondering,
Yeah, I
but
was like,
they're just
oh,
enthusiastic and
yeah.
everybody's fine. Yeah.
And that's kind of a perfect example of the sun going into Gemini. You get animated, you get excited, you start wanting to talk a lot and make your plans, and write them down and look things up, stuff like that. It's really cool.
And it's been happening to me too. And Lauren Hunsinger said, I can feel the changes since the 19th. The letting go keeps being a repetitive message from many in the community. And it's so exciting to me getting all of this help. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome because
I've wanted to purge and get rid of some of these things too, some books and some things that I just haven't put my hands on in years that I think, it's just kind of using up space that I need to clear out some space.
mhm,
Is that like kind of like you just need to clear it out?
absolutely.
It's mhm.
That's exactly what we should be doing. And it's details, you're looking at the details. Why do I have this whole bookshelf? I don't even look at anything, or for instance, or all these clothes in my closet that I don't wear. But it's from every level of detail. I mean, it could be big stuff too. It could be, my marriage isn't working or my job's no longer um, I'm not excited to be in my job. But for Lauren, okay, so we have a T square and we have a fixed grand cross for the next 2 weeks. They're both in there in the same energy, but that fixed grand cross is at 0 degree points. Okay, so let me see if I can show it to you real quick. Each point is a release point. So we're releasing at Pluto, 0 degrees Aquarius. We're releasing at Jupiter, 0 degrees Taurus. We're releasing at Gemini, 0 degrees Sun. What? Am I right on that one? I might be wrong. Goodness, there's so much. I'm sorry. A South Node is at 2 degrees. Now, that South Node in Scorpio is what is helping us unload all this stuff that no longer is supporting us. Those other three are holding it up. I'm sorry, it's Mars and Leo is at 0 degree. The sun just happens to be in a 0 degree today too. So look at all that. Now, 0 degree is like the seed we plant, right? We put a seed in the ground and we put an intention on it because we want it to grow into XYZ, whatever that is. And this is going to play out really significantly in the next 2 weeks, but a lot of that T square is going to go until November, where those 3 points will stay at 0 degrees. And
Can I
that's
ask a question? Sorry to
mhm.
interrupt, but
No, no,
do the planets move from 29 down to 0 or do they go from 0 up to 29?
It go okay, so that's an excellent question. We go from 0 to 29, but usually
Okay,
somewhere in there there'll be a retrograde. Okay,
right.
so it could go back to like Jupiter's going to retrograde at 5 degrees and then go back. But that's the the one that we got to keep an eye on is the Pluto is at 0 degree Aquarius right now. It's going to go back into Capricorn up to 20 to 27, and it takes a very long time. So that that shows us really what's no longer working. Pluto rules Scorpio, and it's that release of all that, and we're going to see things, the underbelly of a lot of stuff that's been out in the world. We're going to see a lot with this going on, and this will go on until January, and by then Pluto will be back in 0 degree Aquarius. But it goes back and forth, and when it does that, it reveals anything with the re, like retrograde, right? It gives us more information. That's the coolest thing about retrogrades. I don't care what planet it's in, it's going to show you more information that was vital to you to go forward. So it's just really cool. But this next 2 weeks might be a little tough on the fact that maybe that thing you don't really want to let it go, but it needs to go. That's where it
Yeah.
gets,
Yep.
you know.
So, how long does it take for a planet to move from 0 to 29? And does it depends on the planet and how fast the planet moves, or
Yeah.
does it usually take 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 year? What's like the average?
Okay, so Pluto will take the next, he'll change sign from Aquarius into Pisces in 2044. So that's like 20 years.
Oh, okay.
Now, Mercury goes through a sign in 3 weeks, 5
Oh,
6 weeks. That's why we always see Mercury bouncing around, and everybody's concerned about Mercury retrograde. Well, he's doing that to get us more information because Mercury rules the mind. He rules us on how we plan and make things happen. So we need him to be back and forth and moving fast. Pluto is about the truth and integrity. And it's not always easy to get the truth of something. And sometimes it takes more than 20 years, in, I'm going to use that for societal systems and stuff like that. But each is different. Each has a different time frame. But we have that support of Jupiter for the next year in Taurus, where we can literally make manifest what it is our hearts really prefer and desire. So it's really going to be a cool year. It's going to be bumpy because a lot of this stuff has to get ironed out, but it, if you're in these chats, you're already heart centered, you already are connected to your soul, you're spirit driven, and it's going to possibly be easier for us. There's people who are unaware that are going to have to see, the reality a in a harsher way.
yeah. So this change is all the planets in Taurus and the Pluto going in and out of Aquarius. This is lifting and allowing the light in. And how is that energetic play expressed from the planets down onto the Earth plane?
Oh wow,
In your opinion,
that's
how
a
would you
really good
describe
question.
that?
Well, they each have their own flavor.
Oh,
The planets all have different personalities
okay.
and rule their rulership over different aspects of what it's like to be human in our solar system. This is how we, over the last thousands of years, have people watching and monitoring and writing it down and saying, well, when this happens, Pluto's retrograde, So we know it from history, but they're all so different, in their own. Uh, like a lot of people want to be afraid of Pluto. No, you don't. Pluto is nothing to be afraid of. If you're in integrity and speaking the truth and living from your heart, it's those who aren't that it has shown to be a little, or think of governments over time. The Roman Empire, different things have fallen during certain significant.
Pluto aspects, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's gotten a bad rap.
yeah,
Wow.
it has. But I mean, there's so many layers to it, because okay, we have our planets in our solar system that certain, over historians from the beginning of time have documented. But we also have all the constellations above us, so now it gets into layers upon layers. We have the galactic center, we have the super galactic center, we have the great attractor, and these are all at different points astrologically. Like if right now we're at 2 degrees south node Scorpio, which is helping us remove all the, I mean, stuck blocks. And this is from in every aspect of our lives. Well, that 2 degree is also where in Scorpio is where the Shapley attractor is. And that thing is so massive. It's billions and billions of galaxies. And it doesn't seem like, well, how would that affect us? All that energy is flowing in and flowing out. Um, this is how spirit communicates with us in a lot of ways. It is really the only way. The sun's energies, all the solar flares we've had, all these different points, all these different planets. It's all communication, but it's energetic communication instead of, well, a lot of us hear it. Right? You hear things. I hear things. A lot of people in here are psychic and empaths and intuitives. Um, and really, anybody is, if you want to work that muscle, and you can tune into spirit. He's specifically talking to us energetically, so we understand it, and in this form, in this human form, we can make things manifest. That makes sense. Is
Yeah,
that
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just it's another way of collecting information to guide us on our human journey here. And the way that our human journey changes is very linked to the changes that are happening in the stars in the so this is where what is in the astrological what is it that I call it? If I don't call it, what was I calling it? The solar system?
Mhm.
What is that terminology that you call, like, the things that are changing on Earth are being are also being affected by the stars, do you call it, or do you call it the solar system? What is that
Well, I
term?
call it the solar system because it's directly affecting our solar system. All of those stars, all of those attractors, and the galactic center, they all come in our own way. Like we have our sun, but we also have a, a sun that gives our sun information that is a huge, like massive in size. Like think of Sirius A or B. You can see that from anywhere here. That it comes down, I guess. I don't. The way I see it is it comes in through, because what space is a vacuum, right? But there's all that energy and it's coming through and it just hits different points. When the sun has a solar flare, to me, my guides have explained it to me where it's helping us remove blocks and things out of our
Programming.
programming, our planet, the planet programming. But at the same time it's doing that, it's bringing in downloads of information that help us elevate even more. So I mean, and just to I mean, it's so crazy when you think about it because it's so vast and the information is so fast because it's faster than the speed of light in a lot of ways. The speed of thought, it's how do we receive that information? Well, we know we do, but how? We I don't know if anyone has ever
It's
said
the
that.
energy. It's
Yeah,
the energy that guides us, that puts these tendencies, these subtle nudges around us. So
yeah,
I just want to bring up a couple of comments that some of our community here is sharing with us. So Wiki was saying, for me, it started as Mercury went direct. So she's very sensitive to Mercury, and maybe the aspect of Mercury is linked to Wiki in some respect, and she feels the changes of Mercury stronger. It may be closer to her chart, and it's really important for all of us to get our natal chart done. See, I
yeah,
know what that's called now. And when we get our natal chart done, we know where the planets were when we were born. And then when we hear that Mercury is near our natal chart month, or where we were born, or a different aspect, we
mhm,
understand why this affects us. So if this Mercury
mhm,
affected you, Wiki, when it went direct, it could have been near or in your house where you were born, or where your sun is, or where your north node or south node. It's really
mhm.
important for us. I know we don't all have to be astrologers. We don't all have
Yeah,
whizzes at this, but if you just get your natal chart done once, it's like a reference point. It's like an yes.
yeah,
So I think in that respect, it's very important. Did
yeah.
you?
It's your blueprint. It's your cosmic blueprint that you're born with, and it's from spirit, and it gives you the indicators and the path to follow. Now, it doesn't give you all the answers. The more layers you go down, you can get a lot of answers, but we're still here in form, and we have free will. So that's the other part of the chart is how do we show up?
Yeah,
That's the cool part. It's
yeah.
just also cool to me.
It's not dictating. It's a
Yeah,
collaboration. It's
right.
a possibility. Also, T Barb said that Spirit has been telling her to clear out her clothes and books and things for 2 years now.
Really. And you see how she put going really slow? That has been 2 to 3 years. Hasn't it felt like you're almost stuck in the mud? Like you want to move forward, you want to do things, you want to have this project I'd like to do or this, but you just that's what's changed on this new moon in Taurus. That energy is going to help go get us to go forward. It's given us it's a the Taurus, the bull. He's getting us out of the mud. Usually they say, "Oh, you're stuck in the mud," or Tauruses. But no, this one is really helping with all the planets that were there, and importantly, the North Node is there. So the North Node is our indicator that this is the way forward. So when you're looking at all those planets around it, it's what do you want to create now that's never really been created here before. Yeah, I mean, it's so powerful. It's crazy.
So manifestation is now. Now is the time for manifestation.
And you're going to
Wow,
have
we have
Jupiter.
we, uh, so Taurus, the new
Sorry.
moon in Taurus has thrusted us forward, given us the momentum, and the
Mm-hmm,
North Node is giving us the goal, and
mm-hmm,
it's up to us to take the steps, to take action, to
right,
manifest.
right. I mean, because Jupiter's going to be there with us all year. So whatever you intended on this new moon, now you can do this on every new moon and full moon, but this one in particular, because of it was after the eclipses, really will. And if your heart's in it and you really, really want it and you really want to create whatever that is, you have the support to do it. Really, but see, at the same time though, we're releasing all the stuff that doesn't serve us. Now it's at that south node of Scorpio at 2 degrees, and I keep saying that because that massive attractor is right there. So anything that's gone or you're getting rid of, like you say, it's a behavior or it's something that you really want to change that you've struggled with, this is the time to do it because it goes into that energy. It's not coming back. you know, and,
Wow.
and it's really
So
powerful.
it works not only on things that we're looking forward to, it also works on things that we're letting go of.
Yes, yes.
All of this same energy that's moving you towards your goal and releasing the new moon in Taurus is giving us the momentum, and the North Node is giving us the goal. At the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, there's that South Node in Scorpio. Did you say that
Mhm.
is releasing? So
Right.
it's letting go of all the mud, all the anchors, all the barnacle that's holding on to us, so that when we move forward, we're cleaner, fresher, newer, and more free.
You said that perfectly.
It
That's
was the guides. It
I
was
know.
the guides.
I know
Val, when I come on, guys, can you see it? Can you see the North Node and the South Node? This is me being the natal chart.
You're doing an excellent job because it is so important. So that going back to the North Node, okay, this one for the collective and all of us right now is in Taurus. They're Taurus and Scorpio because that was the eclipse season. The nodes were in those signs for the last 18 months. Now they will change in July, but every time a point hits another point in space in the charts, it it gives us more information every time. So
Wow.
you it can seem like, oh my god, I could know anything, and really you could. It's just a matter of where you put your intention. But to know your specific path, look at your own north node and go in that direction. That's really helpful.
So Gina M says, I wish we could help each other with clearing it out. I find I have someone with me. If I find I have someone with me, it helps, and it does. Whew,
Yes.
doesn't it? Just for motivation.
Yeah.
Just it's amazing how we have this procrastination or this hesitancy to get
Uh,
started, isn't
mm,
it? You're like you're like, oh, I don't have time for this, oh, I don't have the energy for this, or but if somebody else is there and they just say, what's this, and they don't do it, they're just helping you, and then
mhm,
it helps you to think, it helps you to move. and
mm.
and is there anything in the astrology that would correspond to something helping us to do this and being assistance to us?
Well, if the Scorpio, that Scorpio South Node and Pluto are usually uh, motivators, the motivators of the charts. I have the same problem, Gina M. And if you need help, I will gladly try to help you. But it has been this stuck in the mud thing I was talking about the last 2 to 3 years. That's what this feeling is. So now we're so used to feeling that stuck in the mud feeling that we don't even know, oh, the mud's no longer there anymore. So it's becoming aware of that. But even more so than that, your heart says to you, I really want to learn how to, I don't know, skydive, whatever it is. Really, I mean, you're feeling it all the time. You think about it all the time. That's your guide saying, "Go do it." You know, so it's just we hold ourselves back because of conditioning,
Yep.
right? And all that. Oh, I don't have money for that, or no, I don't have time for that, or and it's that's not living your life.
It's not, the past doesn't is not always a predictor of the future. The past
No.
energies have changed, and now the energies are released. So now when you go back to that room
Mhm.
that is like a junk room, or the drawer that's like a junk drawer, the closet that's like a junk closet that you need to dig out all of these old things, it's not going to feel the same as it did the last 4 times you went there to do it, and you just couldn't do it because you were fatigued like within 15 minutes. It was the energies around this. And so what Valerie is saying, that these things are lifting and opening up for us, and the energies are different. So when you go back to do that thing, and I'm being inspired too by saying this, when you go back to do that thing, you'll find more ease, more flow, more, not as much resistance when you're doing it. So Gina M, let us know, and let us know what state you're going to start at. I live in Maryland, and come on over and I'll go to your house and you can come to my house.
I mean, and it does. It's so nice to have like-minded people that get what you're saying and helping you in any way that they can. It the help's really there, and I know I have a few things I'm trying to motivate myself on doing, and but in these, and I kept saying to myself, well, I know as soon as the Taurus new moon, I'll have more information. And I really do. I do. I have more. It's not even so much the information, which I do have. I have more energy, which I was really getting concerned. I thought there was something wrong. I take my vitamins, we drink a lot of water, you do all the things you're supposed to do. But this has just been the Spirit wanted us to really be able to sit still, look at what you're doing, and is this really what you want to do? And if it's not, change it. So that's been the last 3 years of the overall, one of the overall general messages, which is pretty powerful because we never knew that the world could shut down. We never knew you could work from home, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, just think of just the things that changed like that.
So T Barb says it makes sense communicating through the light.
Yes.
And also, Amanda gave me the verbiage. This is what I was looking for. Like, what reference point? The energy here on Earth is affected by what goes on in the universe. I will be
Uh,
using the term universe.
yes.
Thank you, Amanda. I agree. I
Yes.
agree. It takes a village, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
sometimes you know what you want to say, but it just doesn't come out right. So thank you, Amanda. I
Oh,
really
God.
appreciate that.
That's one thing I've really been struggling with these last few years. It's like my words don't want to come out. I get information so fast. I'm trying to get it out and to where it makes sense. And you're just like, I don't even know what I just said.
Because it comes through, like, telepathically. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So Fern is saying, "I wholeheartedly recommend Valerie's natal chart readings. She is amazing." And
Uh,
she is, because she combines her spiritual guidance with your natal chart, and she gives you the meanings behind it, and she really does spend a lot of time and gives you the big picture and then tells you the points that are most important for you to know right now.
Fern, you are such a beautiful soul. She was such a sweetie.
Isn't it? It's a pleasure working with this
I
community.
Oh goodness, when it's just you and another one on one, you're just like, oh my God, just
Well, that's the thing. See, Val will pick up on you. She'll psychically pick up on you. She's in your energy. She's looking at your chart. And then the guides are going to start saying about what's going on with Fern, what's Fern's personality, what's Fern's tendencies. So Val can pick up on your energy as well as read your chart, your natal chart for you. And this, I'm letting you know, not everybody does this. A lot of astrologers are wonderful, magnificent people, but they don't have this dualistic approach that Valerie does. So it's really phenomenal, really beautiful. Yeah. And Erin has a beautiful comment here. She says, "It's comforting to know that solar flares are positive. News reports make them sound so threatening, right?" I mean, what's with that? They don't understand. They just don't understand. So it's almost like, oh, we saw a UFO, as if the world is coming to an end if they saw a UFO. It is not threatening, and these solar flares are not threatening. And Val, what did you say they were doing? They were releasing something. What were they doing?
Yeah, because you think about that power that sun belts out, right? And it hits out into space. Now, if say Earth is right here, it hits our magnetosphere and it pushes all that back. So it technically could make a hole, but Earth repairs itself, like how we repair ourselves if we get a cut, right? Think about it like that. It's all and it's all for our growth. It isn't to, oh, let's wipe out the humans because they're stupid. But this is what the news does. The news wants to take it, a UFO or a solar flare, and the sky's falling. That's really going to be um, we're going to, I mean, it's already noticeable, but they're really going to double down on that. They want to keep that programming, that conditioning. They want us to be uh, afraid, really. It's a fear based thing. The news is fear based. Have you ever seen a good news channel? I always said I was going to make a good news channel.
There was one, but it didn't last long, you know.
No, no, because
Yeah.
it's all about ratings and money. But
And it's
they. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
the fear motivates some people, but it doesn't motivate all of us. So yeah, the research groups are just not accurate. Um, so she said she was pleased to learn their higher purpose. Very much so, Erin. And you know, it's important for us to educate ourselves and to be aware of these things. So thank you for that comment, Erin. That was very important to point out.
Yeah.
So T-Bar says, I've actually been knocked over by a bull in her grandpa's farm. Is that the kind of bull force?
Yeah.
If that's the kind of bull force, I'm golden.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bulls are, I mean, because they are just, okay, I've decided this is what I'm going to do. And they do it until it's done. That's what I decided. That's what I'm doing. So, yeah, I think Jean, don't you had Jupiter, you had Taurus and Jupiter. I'm pretty sure. So, this is a really powerful year for you. That just changed. So that's like, I mean, Jupiter expands things, makes everything, bigger and brighter. Now, if you're working on stuff that's not so healthy for you, it'll expand that too. But you know, it, for the most part, Jupiter's a benefic. It's here to assist us. It's our biggest planet in our solar system, besides the sun. And if you look at planets and the sun, look at the sun as a stargate. Energy is pouring through there from suns bigger than it, that billions and light years away, but it pours through. And a lot of times, well, my guides had shown me once that, well, more than once, that when a new soul is coming in to become form here, we go through the suns. We go through. Uh, that's how we get here.
Wow.
So, and that's how we leave here. They just say,
Here comes the sun, right?
mm-hmm.
So Amber Rose has a question here. Or comment. She said, I got my days mixed up and accidentally wrote out my new moon intentions the day before the new moon. I'm wondering if that affects the magic of the intention.
That's actually perfect. In fact, in this, because it was such a late degree, it was 28 degrees. So you got to think of it, if it's building up from 0 to 28, all that energy, right? And you're a day early, you're just building up that energy. You're just giving it more power. Even if I wanted to do a new moon ceremony today on a 0 degree Gemini, I could do that. I could, I don't think there's any real thing as time and space, really. So I can go back into that day. Okay, on the 19th, I overlooked the new moon. Here's my intentions for the 19th, the new moon in Taurus. And I mean, I do that a lot because I'll
Your
forget.
intent, yeah, your intention was for the new moon,
Yeah.
regardless of if you were doing it on that day or the day before. But I think the new moon energies kind of come in and then happen and then go out. Like there's a season, I guess you would call that,
Well,
for
yeah,
the new moon energy.
till the next new moon. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying. So you have all that time. That's it does in a lot of magic and stuff like that. You have to do it at this time on this specific day at this specific time. And yeah, I'm not saying that isn't powerful, but don't feel like, oh, because I missed it, I'm missing something. You have a whole month. And the full moon is on the 2nd or 3rd of June in Sagittarius, and it's at um, 14 degrees. Now, 14 degrees Sagittarius, the great attractor's there. That's one of those points out there where there's billions of other galaxies. Very powerful, magical energies that really do, think of that. Do you think of your new moon intentions as This is what I do. Of the past new moon, build it up to the full moon, know what that energy is about, and I just keep building on that, those intentions, and with those energies as they evolve. Does that make sense?
Now, I don't want to get too much into it, but since you're talking about it, when we do a new moon intention and it's in Taurus, now the culmination of this intention of that Taurus new moon does not end until like 9 months later when we have the full moon in Taurus. Is that right?
Yeah. Right.
So it's
Really?
not till the next full moon or the next new moon. There is a full moon or a new moon in Taurus, and then it goes months and months, 9 months, 10 months to the full moon in Taurus. There's like a whole cycle of when this intention that you have in this new moon in Taurus actually comes to fruition, so to speak.
Right.
Am I on the right path?
You are on the right path. And what does that remind you of? A human woman is pregnant for 9 to 10 months. See, so this is how we manifest. We make manifest on Earth, right? I'm not trying to use the Bible quotes for any other reason other than to say this is how it evolves. I'm not saying that a lot of intentions you put out there can't happen in a day or two, but usually if it's a big thing that you're really working on and you've been putting energy in every month, give it that 9 months. And then if there's been an eclipse, the eclipse is helping us just like retrogrades do. It's removing things that no longer, or we're not serving our path. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's perfect.
Wow. Wow, very interesting. Thank you, Amber Ray, for that comment,
Yeah.
and it sparked interesting information to come through. Let us know, you guys, if you knew that about the new moon, that it didn't end at the next full moon; it ended months later. That was an interesting concept for me, and I know that it takes. Um, Okay, for manifestation. I think a lot of people want to talk about manifestation. So
Mhm.
Gina M said, we're going back to the decluttering. Sorry.
Mhm.
She said, I took a mini decluttering class. That's interesting,
Cool.
which
Good.
recommends setting a timer for 30 minutes or 15 minutes, etc. And then 15 minutes to put or reorganize things. Okay. 30 minutes total time,
Mhm.
15 minutes to sort, and then 15 minutes to put or organize things you don't feel deflated. Wow.
That is so cool. And there's so many, look at every person has a specialty. They do. Every person, we can learn so much from everybody. And there's easier, more efficient ways to do things. I think we were all brought up, well, a lot of us were, you're cleaning the house today, it's Saturday, and until it's clean. There was, that's how, but,
So, uh so
uh,
Amber Ray just wanted to respond saying, I love that outlook. She appreciated the response there, Val. Thank you.
I don't want anyone to feel like you're limited. As soon as we put a limitation on something, it really makes us feel, oh God, I'm missing the time, I missed the boat, or it's drudgery, or don't put limits on yourself. You know, you know.
So Lauren Hunsiger says that makes so much sense. That must be why we have to be so intentional with what we want to manifest. Set intentions and then follow through with the legwork. Exactly.
Yeah.
Good point, Lauren.
And,
I'm so glad that we kind of bring it right back down to our own everyday life. Like this,
Mhm.
it's not just, woo woo, so to speak, or, some odd names or odd symbols. It's really a way for us to learn to live our life or learn to understand or learn to be aware of what's going on around us, learn to
Mhm.
feel the energies around us and the changes that go on around us.
Mhm.
And this is just beautiful,
It
really
is.
lovely.
And they say the more details you make for your intentions, yeah, but always keep that in the back of your mind. Things can change on a dime, so I'm adaptable. I can change as things change. It's just because I wrote it down and I said this and it's not working out that way. You got to let spirit have room to, to help us.
This or something better, right? I love
Yeah.
that.
Yes, yes.
Whatever
Mm,
you manifest, say I manifest, or this, this is what I want, and give all the specifics and things like this, and this or something better, and
mhm,
allow that to happen the way it does.
mhm.
Yeah.
Because everything is in divine timing anyway. And,
I know.
and we learn in every moment. It's just a matter of what's in our awareness.
Nipra said she was going to do an emotional cleanse on
Mhm.
that date. Remember the date you said in July that all of the cosmic alignment, what, tell us that again. What did you say was going to happen on the new moon in July, where all of the, some sort of
The new moon, or you mean
the
the,
gateway or something?
the nodes will change? Okay, for gateways, let me just say this real quick. And portals, that's why my channel's Illumination Portal. You're a portal. Everything's a portal, in my opinion. Everything has the energy, right? So the new moon is a portal, definitely. Today, 0 degree Gemini portal to zero. Zero is good to make boundaries, to have clear clear intentions, so you don't want to leak your energy. You don't want your energy leaking out. An emotional cleanse, okay, is best
Mm.
on a full moon.
I think you said 14 degrees in July. Something was happening at 14 degrees in July
Oh
that
no, no,
opened.
that the next full moon is in
Oh,
Sagittarius. It's at 14 degrees. That be really good to release and do an emotional cleanse. But right now is this next 2 weeks is really good for that because you have that fixed grand cross. That means there's a 0, 0, 0, 0, all 4 points. Do you see what I'm saying? That is going straight out down through that Scorpio South Node. Anything you want to release.
wow.
Powerful next 2 weeks. And then you're going to have the full moon right at the end of that to, if anything's left over, because as we all know, nothing, we're always working on things, even though we decided today I wanted to release this horrible belief or whatever. I know it takes time, but you put that intention there, and that's what matters the most.
Wow. That's a good suggestion, Nivra. Thank you very much. So the ladies T-Barb here said that she didn't know that about the moon, that the culmination of the beginning of the Taurus moon and the end of the full moon,
Mm-hmm.
Taurus in full moon is
Mm-hmm.
that long. So when we set our intention, it's not just that short time, it's that long time. And I thought, thank goodness that you can just put it to bed and, it was like, hurry up. No, no, no. You can relax and watch it unfold.
Yes, yes.
And Gina M said, I didn't know that about the new moon.
Mhm.
Yeah, so thanks guys. I just wanted to see if it was only me. Um,
And
yeah,
then
and
right, you planted the seed. So 9 to 10 months later, that seed has grown into your intention. I'm sorry.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Now,
yeah.
how often would we review our intentions for, like, if we did like a new moon intention and it's for 9 months, how
Mhm.
often would you review that intention? Like on a daily basis, like keep it on our mirror or
Well, okay, so in levels of degree of importance, right? Now, if you know it's something big and it's going to take you a little while to, so you want to buy a house, or something big, or even have a child, that's obvious. That's going to take you 9, 10 months. But we have little mini goals or intentions that we do that are going to lead us to the big goal. So I get detailed. I get pretty detailed, and I keep the same things running until I've I've mastered that, and then I go to the next thing. But um, yeah, I mean, you can have as many intentions as you want. The thing is,
yeah.
you're spreading your energy may be spread a little thin. It depends on, if you're going to look at it every day. Like that, I do certain things every day, but it's mostly for humanity. I don't know how to say it, bringing peace into
Yeah.
humanity. But on myself, I I do the same thing. I make a list. I make it on new moon and full moon, and I'll just check each moon. Where am I at? How far did I get this this last 2 weeks? You know,
Mhm.
there's so many. And the thing is, you're in charge of this. You're in charge. You can make this your special moon ceremony every month. Do your twice a month. Yes, I burn it too. I do that with the stuff I want to release.
Yeah, T-Bart said, I was told to write it down and then you can even bury it or burn it. I
Hmm.
think that's letting it go for the universe to take care of it. That's right.
Hmm. And it goes, and so that's for creating something, but also for releasing something. So, and I should have made this clear. I do have two lists going. One, what am I releasing or working? Want to change this about me, and and this one, what do I want to, and I hate that word. I never say want. I try not to say it because that's the killer to all of this intentional work. You have to word it properly. If I sit here and say I want, what is want? It leaves you in a state of wanting. So I prefer, I desire, I create, I am.
I
However,
have.
I
I
have.
have.
Beautiful.
Present tense.
Yeah.
I am I am happy, healthy, fit, and thin. That was my
Mhm.
thing.
That's like still working on that, hoping it checks out.
I am, I have, I appreciate, I enjoy, I am grateful
Mm,
for.
yeah,
I'm grateful for all the blessings in my life. I'm
yeah,
grateful for the brand new car sitting in my driveway, whether
mm,
it's there or not. Just be
that's right.
grateful for it, and it attracts. Yeah.
Perfect. And that is so true. It is all about the wording. It's how we speak to ourselves too.
But the words have energy. The
Mm-hmm.
words have energy because when you want, you're almost like in a begging or in a vulnerable position. But when you say I have, it gives you an empowerment. And we have power. We are power. We can have what we want. We can have what we desire. And this I am, I have, I appreciate, I'm grateful for the brand new car in my driveway. Even if
Mm-hmm.
there's not one there yet. It's an empowering, and the energy of this empowering vibration helps to the manifestation to be created in our favor. When we keep saying we want, we want, we want, it is always that it's always that we have to reach. It's not here. Yeah, and just are you when you say you want, do you always want to want or do you want to have? I have. I have
Mm-hmm.
the best car in my. I have the safest, prettiest car in my driveway. Whatever it is that you want, say I have it. It's
Mm-hmm.
important.
It
And
is.
words have energy.
Words are spells. That's where spelling comes from. Think about, yeah. And so if we're telling ourselves, even in our own communication with ourselves, if we're talking to ourselves in a way that is uh, like Jean said, want begging or longing, yeah, longing for what you don't have, right, Aaron? And that
Perfect.
we stay in that state.
I am
Yeah.
whole and complete. Wow. How beautiful is that?
Hmm. I
I
mean,
think this just evolved into an affirmations. But you see how much we can learn from the universe.
right? Yeah.
And that it plays such a large part in our everyday lives, and Valerie is really good at helping to interpret this for us. And can you just tell me a little bit more? Let's go a little bit more into. I have a question for you, Val. A little bit more into that big picture. I want to know sort of if you can if you can help us uh, learn more about what Aquarius energies is and what it means for us to be moving into this age. Is it only Pluto? Or is it all the planets that are moving in there? And what will this mean for us in the future?
Got you. Well, all the other planets have gone through Aquarius and will go through Aquarius again. This is the first time Pluto's been there in 248 years. Okay, so he's literally opened the door, in my
Okay.
opinion. Now it's going to take a little while. I mean, in it, I really think that's an energetic thing, and where you believe you are, you are. You know what I'm saying? But as a collective, we okay. The Aquarius is humanitarian. Is everybody is cared for. Everybody is offered the same chances and choices. Um, Innovation, thinking outside the box. Aquariuses are so fair. They are fair people. They're fair minded. They want. Oh, there I go with want. See, it's a really hard one to break. The want is hard to break.
It's all right. You can use it.
But
It doesn't, it's all right.
when we say that, we will build. I see it like this: like we're going to build communities that are sustainable, made from sustainable materials that save on resources in Mother Earth, are for the betterment of all. Okay, now see, when Pluto was in Capricorn, Capricorn rules the 1 to 3% at the top. They get all everything. Everybody else got to fight for it, you know. Now that's making it real simple. Capricorns have a lot of good. They're good at
Oh yeah.
structure and planning and making things happen. But when it comes to rulership of, I mean, why? This is my question. And this, I'm Aquarius rising, so this is a typical Aquarius statement. Why do we need rulers anyway? I mean, really? Why don't we have a council of elders, or wise women, or wise older people, or however you want to word it? We don't need to have all these structures and systems that. I mean, look at our laws. How it's just, oh God, one law has 2,000 amendments
Pages.
hanging off of it, and it makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
That's the stuff like Aquarius will put that into a cleaner, clearer,
Oh wow.
yeah, like
Simplified.
simplified, and make it easy. This way, I can't go in there after I've just stole $2 million, whatever, and use the law to get me out of that. Like we're seeing now. We're seeing all that right now. That's all that has to be cleaned up and honorable. Aquarius is honorable. So I want everyone to have food every day and a roof over their head and clean water. Um, well, none of us can get clean water if there's no regulations on the chemicals that can be dumped into our water. So it's all these little details that make life difficult here. Is killing Mother Earth, all of those things. I see that really being worked out during the age of Aquarius.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And
Mm,
it's something to look forward to. And it's something that's already beginning right now because Pluto's going in and coming out, going in and coming out.
yeah,
And we're, kind of letting go of the last dribs and drabs of the denser, heavier energies that have been plaguing us, literally. And that was the end of that. Is that plague was the last hurrah, I guess, for that energy.
yeah,
But it is what it is. We all know what it is. We all know what the aspects that we're describing are. But what's important for us to know is that we're feeling this. We're feeling this lifting, and
yeah,
we're wondering, should I trust it? Is it real, or is the other shoe going to drop?
yeah,
And what Valerie is here to let us know that the energies do not are not prospecting. They're not projecting this. The aspects are not projecting this. The prospects are
Mhm.
projecting a lighter, more fair, more balanced energy, a
Mhm.
more simplified and organized and unified energy. This is the aspect of the Aquarius that's coming in, and this is what is being projected and being looked upon, or looking forward to.
Mhm.
And these are the energies that she's saying it's important for us to trust them. And we're at the front end of this. We're at the foraging end. A lot of us here are somewhere in the same age group, between
Mhm.
I don't know, 40 and 80, I guess. So we have lived most of our half of our lives at least, and we are moving forward. So now it's up to us to hang on to that and to push forward,
Mhm.
because we know what's ahead. We know what is coming up, what is available to us, and we know what we went through to get there, and we know what we can
Yeah.
leave go. And it's important for all of us to start doing this in our own lives and be the example for the people who are still in that on that hamster wheel, the people who are still getting in their car, driving to the building, working for a big conglomerate with millions of other or thousands of other people in
Mhm.
their work, and then getting off at 5 o'clock and going back home and trying to get
Mhm.
dinner on the table. I mean, that's like a hamster wheel. And
Mhm.
what I see when we're moving forward, things are going to be more balanced. Things are going to be more fair. The hours are going to be more flexible. The days are going to be more flexible. The driving times, the work from home, the types of jobs, having shared jobs, having people support you, it's all going to be changing, and it's up to us to create these things, to develop these things, to enact these things, and to behave this way in order to be the example for all the other ones that are still on that hamster wheel.
Oh my God, that you summed it up so good because that is truly um, exactly what's happening now. It's going to take time, but we are the front end. It is integrity. Aquarius is about integrity. Pluto is about integrity, and how we move forward. Right, has to be in integrity. Has to be for all, like you just said. But those of us who struggle with, am I hearing this right? Am I getting this? Am I crazy? That the only thing I can say about that is the more that you trust yourself and you trust the universe and you authentically be yourself, you see it come back to you in spades. I mean, you get so much information that there's no way that can be a trick, be part of the distorted views of our world. But oh, what was I going to say? It just left my head. It's
Sorry.
so important. No, no, it'll come in. Honor self, honor earth, honor each other. Exactly. And it's Mother Earth has suffered the most out of all that. Well, we all live here. We're all drinking her water and eating food on her soil and from her soil. That all has to be restructured into an actual nutrient dense, nutrient based soil and water. Um, and it's those people who think like you said, in the front line, who are thinking outside the box, who are um, making those new ways of being more accessible, more is that the word? No, more common. It's a
Mhm.
it okay, and you see how it's kind of spiraling now. But a lot of people are doing uh, what's that? The packaging where it's recycles. What am I
Mm.
trying to say? Sustainable packaging.
Mm.
Hemp. Hemp can make everything that plastic can't. Everything, and it grows faster than it can be replenished constantly. Those things are outside of the box. But that's the way forward. We've seen what putting chemicals into everything is, and look at the high rates of disease and illness. You can't say that there's not a correlation there, because people didn't get the things we get these days, or die from. Well, the medical technology wasn't as quote unquote advanced. And I would argue with that too. Really, is it, or is it for profit? So
Those indigenous people that healed you with the mud and the plants and the roots,
yeah,
that's the way to go. No,
yeah,
I'm kidding. It's
yeah,
just entertainment purposes only, people, follow your doctor's orders. I'm not poo-pooing them, but
mhm,
it makes sense. It makes a little
mhm,
sense for, natural remedies and things that we
mhm.
all know. So T Barb says, I'm wondering if this goes along with my dream last night. She said angel lift was the theme and that we will perceive ourselves lighter. I feel this
I
too, T
feel.
Barb.
Mhm.
I feel like the density is changing in
Yeah,
our energy, and this is the heaviness, the heavy denseness, and it's the energies, it's the heavy, thick energies. I don't know how to describe it, but it's also us because we are more of our spiritual energy and our soul's energy is going to be embodying with us, with our human to kind of like teach that ego a lesson like we're
mhm,
moving in, we're moving in, and the
mhm.
spiritual aspect is coming more inside of this human essence, and we're going to be able to express as human and spirit simultaneously. I think this was the
Yes,
original intent, and
yes.
somewhere we got away from it, but this spiritual side is coming in, and we have to raise our vibration, raise our density in order for this spiritual side to be living within us. And I say living within us, just existing. And the energetic sense of energy is a much lighter energy and less dense energy.
Yeah, and
So,
that's what we've been going through, right? With the all the solar flares. Every time this happens, that's been okay. The harmonic convergence happened in 1987, so that's when people started noticing that the energy on the planet was becoming lighter. Now we couldn't do it all at once because it would take us all out. So it had to be slow, steady, slow, steady. But our spirit is coming in more, like Jean said. Our our ego works for our heart, but we've been taught the ego runs the show. They want you to think that. They want you stressed out and thinking and doubting and confused and upset. If you follow your heart, there's nothing can go wrong. And your ego does all that work. If the heart says, I want, or I prefer XYZ, let's do this. And as soon as you agree to that, it's your spirit team just opens all the doors for you. Things just start naturally flowing. You're not fighting against the current any longer. So that comes in more and more. And that's what I was trying to make clear. It's like when you see that, when you are actually living that, going, oh, as I doubted it, like we all do. I doubted it. I thought I was crazy. But once I saw that, I got more information, more doors open, more love just is pours through me. We are a spark of the divine, and
mm,
we are showing that at that more and more. Before, people had to hide that because you're too, I don't know, you're too sweet.
somebody might somebody might say something or say, oh, look at her, she thinks she's no, we are light,
Yeah.
we are spirit, we are the spark of the
Mhm.
divine, and we can't have those naysayers and the negative people take that away from us or make us hide our light. We're not hiding our light anymore. The time is now to shine.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's so powerful. And that, like I said, this is the beginning of the doors have been slowly opening, and it's going to take its time. Aquarius will be in Pluto for 20 years, and I bet at the end of that 20 years, there's so many restructured ways that we live life as humans on this planet that is for the good of all, including the planet. But just makes no mistake, that dark, that part, that side that wants to keep the division and the hate going, and the and distortion, and not knowing the truth and all that, they're going to fight till the end. They know they have nothing because they cannot exist in a higher vibration. They cannot exist in a love, unconditional love vibration. They just can't. So it, they need us to fall down to their level so they can stay relevant. But they can't exist when we ascend. Oh, thank you.
So this is Valerie's email address, and it's what I'd like to do is invite you to Val. Are you holding any specials right now? And what Valerie does is she does our
Oh,
natal chart, and when she does our natal chart, what is it that you need to know? Our first name, our last name, our date of birth, and the time of birth, if you have it. Like if you think you were, the exact time is good, but if you think you were born between 6 and 7 in the morning, or if you think you were born between 8 and 10 or 9 and 10 at night, that's what she could still work with that. But
yeah. Okay.
so those are the things that you need to know, and you can email Val and let her know this. She will email you and let you know. Oh, my earbuds are dying. Um, she will email you and let you know to set up a schedule with her, and
Yeah.
it takes about an hour and a half. Is that right?
Yeah. Hour and a half, 2 hours, and I record it because we're on Zoom together, and your chart's up, and we go through everything, and I send you the recording. Yeah, the last time I was with you, Jean, we did a contest. We do that again.
You would like to do that again? Okay.
Yeah,
Let me see what we
and
have.
anyone and whoever enters, um, I usually pick a couple people. So my spirit guides to pick people. I should say.
And the contest is for a free reading, and
Yeah,
what would you like for them to put in the subject line?
moon is good. Moon, I
Okay.
think yeah.
Okay.
Oh
So
yeah, that was so
everybody
much fun. It was so much fun. I loved it.
So everybody here who's in the chat, everybody here who's listening and who's listening later, when
Mhm.
will the cutoff be for the chance for a free reading? Do you want it to be tomorrow, 24 hours, or do you want it to be
Um,
Tuesday?
let's see what we got coming up this week. Um, we could do it. Okay, I just heard Wednesday until Wednesday midnight. I guess Wednesday midnight would be good.
Okay.
So
So the
that's long.
contest is Wednesday midnight. So if you're watching
Mhm.
this show at Wednesday the 20, let me just look, 20
The
24th. Yeah.
24th.
So by the 24th at midnight, you can email Val at loveucu, LOVE, the letter U, the letter C, the letter U, 11 at Gmail.
Mhm.
LoveUCU11 at Gmail. That is
Mhm.
Val's email. And you can email her and put in the subject moon and that you want to enter the contest, and she will get back to you and let you know if you won. And that is a really great offering that Valerie does, and she's an amazing
Thank
light worker. I think I
you.
can't even say astrologer or psychic or medium. I mean, you do it all.
Isn't it
So
weird? It's so hard to label ourselves, and that's another thing with Aquarius. There's just we haven't even invented words for a lot of how we're going to be. Does that make sense? It's like so crazy, and anyone who with the people I pick like, to get a free reading, those that didn't get picked, I gave half off to them
oh,
last time. Yeah, so just know that because my guides they picked 4 people. I had 13 people enter, and that I just listen. That's how I make my life easy now. I listen to my guides. I don't I had to put my ego. The ego works for us, our heart, right? So
absolutely.
I don't.
Absolutely. So this is lovely. And I do know that there are many of you here watching now, and many of you watch throughout the week. So I just wanted to make sure we gave you the enough time to do it, because people are like, oh, I wasn't there when it was live, but it's okay. If it's before midnight on Wednesday, the 24th, you can still email Val to get in on the contest, and just make sure you put moon in the subject line so that she knows that you want to be part of the contest. So that is lovely, really, really very nice. I I really appreciate your depth of knowledge, your heart, Valerie, your generosity, your just kindness, and you really are very special, very blessed, and you have a lot of angels around you and a lot of guides that are very eager to translate messages and information through you. I can feel it come through you. And this is why I invite Valerie back on my channel. That reminds me, before we go, let's make our next date.
Okay.
Not before we go, before, after the show,
Yeah,
I need to make our next date.
no
But
problem.
this has just been very inspiring, very enlightening. And sometimes it's just, small bits of information and then maybe the overall kind of concepts. It's important for us to get a little bit of this at a time, a little bit of this for me anyway. I mean, especially for people who don't understand most of it,
It's
but
a lot. Yeah.
I appreciate you being willing to help us out and just enlightening us. I really appreciate what you do and value your expertise, Val. So thank. Oh,
I
so
appreciate you.
Erin
You
says, "Awesome! This is unique and something special. Thanks, isn't it? Isn't
We're
it?"
all, and everyone is. We're all unique and special. We really are, you know. And we all have. I can't even. uh, I know astrology, but to like, I would never say I'm a master astrologer. I could never, not putting what I do down, but it's really it there's so much coming in at us. It's hard to describe. We're getting information on all levels, and I can interpret what I see like that easier because I look at the chart and your guides come in and we're just going,
I
Oh,
love that. I love that. So, Tracy, thank you very much. Tracy Ralph is reminding me, she said, please subscribe to Valerie's channel and maybe get an astrology chart. Okay, she wrote that down for us. And please do go over and subscribe to Val's channel. I do have her link below, and this is the link that Tracy Ralph just put in. And Valerie does updates. She does full moon updates and sun, I don't know, what is it? Full moon, new
aspects,
moon
planetary aspects.
aspects, and
Yeah.
she has guests, and when occurrences, certain occurrences or certain alignments
Mhm.
come up that are important for us to know, she'll get on there and explain it to us as well. Oh,
Yeah.
Mirella says, I've seen Valerie several times on Ron Unconditional
Mhm.
Love channel. That's right, Mirella, very nice. And Erin says she's going to go over and sub right now.
Oh,
Who's going to be first? Everybody,
thank
no.
you. Guys. I'm gonna start doing I because I was in the same thing and that's stuck in that mud, and I'm gonna put a video out a week. I'm gonna keep us updated on the astrology, but I'm not gonna make it too like I'm gonna make it where we can all understand,
All
an
right.
energy update or whatever, something like that, because there's so much going on, and everyone needs to know that how to utilize these energies if to further you on your path.
I want to show them, Val, since we were playing around a little bit. This is Valerie's community tab. If you are subscribed to Valerie, you receive this information. So let me just zoom in just one little bit. And this is what Valerie posts this in her community tab. So you go over to the community tab, but if you are subscribed, it'll come into your feed. And she tells you when the Taurus new moon is, and then she gives you specific information. She posts all of this beautiful information. Oops, I'm just going to make this a little smaller so I don't have to keep, yeah. And then the new moon, the new you. And then here, look at this beautiful information that she puts out every single day. Jupiter in Taurus, the insights behind it. There was one down here that I liked. This is so beautiful. Slow down, strengthen your worth, align with your abundant thinking. I mean, this is just a wealth of knowledge, so much information, so much work that Valerie puts into this. Look at this, how cool this is. And she tells you when the Taurus season is now she is sharing this from other people who are creating, but
Yeah.
it's such a great way to get all of this information in just one area here with Valerie, and she does a lot of work. Oops, guess what? I put the whole thing. Okay, we weren't in there the whole time. But so she does a lot of work and conveys and shares a lot of information with all of us. So when you do go over and subscribe, you'll be able to see and view and receive this information as well. Great, Val.
Oh,
You,
I got
you do have a lot of people very interested in this. So thank you very much for your time and expertise again, for your love. Thank you, everybody. And if anybody would like to get a reading from me, simply go to sunpsychicjean.com. I am open for readings and would love to spend an hour together with you.
and you're
And
very talented.
isn't
Very,
it fun?
you're
It's a
so
lot.
talented. Yeah, it is. It's just amazing how all of us have these different pieces of knowledge that we can all grow with. I love it. It's just so much fun, and you're so good at all this computer stuff. You know, you help me on the side.
Yeah, I try to. I try to help. I keep threatening that I'm going to have a YouTube share and just have everybody come on and share all their little tips and tricks.
That would be
Aw, thank you, T Barb. T Barb said she got a beautiful reading from me. Highly
yeah,
recommended. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you very
wonderful.
much. Yes. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. And thanks again for spending your time here with us. Take care. Bye bye now.